you're running and give them a little background.
Well, good evening. I'd like to, again, as said before, thank the Farm Bureau for hosting this event. My name is Matt Owen. I'm an at-large member of the Jeffersonville City Council. I have been since being elected in 2011 as the youngest ever elected to the council. I got involved initially in the city of Jeffersonville because I saw things in my community that I didn't agree with. I saw some policies that I didn't like, and I saw some maneuvering, if you will, for things that I didn't think were right for Jeffersonville. I decided to get involved, having no political connection to anybody. My parents were working class people. My mom's a member of the UAW for 22 years. My dad has been working down in the Jeff Industrial Park, my whole life. But I put myself out there because I felt very passionate about what was going on in Jeffersonville and what wasn't going on in Jeffersonville. And over the last 7 years, I'm very proud of the progress that we've made. We are, in the southern Indiana, one of the fastest growing regions in the state. And I think we should all take a lot of pride in that. Not just in Jeffersonville, though. We've got growth in Clarksville, here at River Ridge, Charlestown, all throughout Clark County. And I think that, as I said, we should all take a lot of pride in that. I decided last year, about this time last year, to run for state representative because we were told that our state representative was going to retire. Steve Stemler has done a great job for District 71. And we owe him a debt of gratitude, regardless of what side of the aisle you're on. But when he decided he was going to retire, it made me think, there are still some things at the state level that I don't agree with, things that I would like to see changed, things that I think we could advocate for more strongly here in southern Indiana. On the city council, what we have done is we've put money into our quality of life, we've put money into our roads and bridges, and we've tried our best to attract new jobs here to River Ridge and in other places. And one of the big things that is a barrier for us in the city of Jeffersonville to bringing in more of those higher paying jobs is our workforce. This is a nationwide problem. The Governor Holcomb has made the workforce development one of his top priorities, and rightfully so. As an advocate for Southern Indiana, if I'm as lucky to represent, I want to be that voice in Indianapolis saying, hey, we've got all the ingredients for good things to happen right here in Clark County. We need some of that state funding to come down here to help us go get to that next level. That's how you increase wages. You increase wages by bringing in more training dollars and more upskilling of your workforce. Another thing that was very important to me that I thought we could do better at the state level was addressing the opioid issue. I work full-time as an EMT for one of our local ambulance services here in Clark County, and we deal with this daily, if not daily, weekly. Still, it's kind of fallen out of the news, but I can tell you, having worked in hundreds of people's homes with people who are dealing with this crisis every day, we are not doing enough. We're not doing enough in collecting the data to see what the real trends are. We're not doing enough in early childhood prevention, and we're not doing enough as far as treatment goes, because there are folks out that are really struggling that really want help, and if anybody who wants that help, in my opinion, deserves it. Those are just some of the things that I've talked to voters about here in District 71 over the last year. We've been out knocking on doors constantly, talking to as many folks who will listen, and I appreciate you all coming out tonight. Again, my name's Matt Owen. I'm the Republican for District 71.
And the Democrat candidate for this seat is Rita Fleming.
Thank you. Thank you for having us here tonight. I am Rita Fleming. I grew up in the west end of Louisville, although I have lived here for 35 years. My father was a union electrician. My mother worked just as hard as a stay-at-home mother with 9 children. We were very fortunate, though. We had food to eat. We had a decent house, 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 9 kids, but we did okay. My father, again, was a union electrician, and he made decent wages. We knew if we were eating potato soup that they were probably looking at a strike, but we knew that what he did was very important. We were taught values, we were taught self-sufficiency, we were taught to care for others. We were not allowed to say, "Shut up." You would get your mouth filled with soap. We were allowed to be kids who were growing up in a happy household, and that's what I want for all Hoosiers. I'm very fortunate. I was able to work my way through college. I was able to be a nurse for several years, and then I became a physician. I had 3 children in medical school. My husband and I cash flowed that on a teacher's salary, and you learn to live on beans and rice when you're doing that. And I chose an occupation that has made me so happy. I get to deliver babies. So, themes I've said: self-sufficiency. I think that we can be fiscally responsible, but we can have affordable housing, quality education, a good workforce, and again, teach people to be self-sufficient. There are those among us who are very vulnerable. Those kids who are orphaned by the drug crisis, and that is indeed a big problem. So we have to look at how can we be compassionate, but we can still be responsible. When my kids were growing up, when they were 16, they got to drive. They got to drive the 10-year-old dented Volvo with no hubcaps, but that's okay. And they had to pay for their own insurance. So they worked at Green Tree Mall, they worked at Dairy Dell, Dairy Queen. One of them moved furniture at Office Depot, another cut up chickens at Boston Market. They had to pay for their own insurance, but they